What's going on, people? Welcome back to the match reaction. Palace 1, Southampton 2. I am fuming, but we'll be discussing that game in more detail. As always, if you do enjoy the show, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. And we'll be opening up the lines very soon where you guys can join and have your say. But make sure to leave down your comments as we're talking in the live section as well. I'm joined by Patrick. Patrick, I'm going to let you kick this off. I need to compose myself. Southampton at home, another defeat. What did you make of it?
Well, I expected it because during my very poor preview show appearance, when my internet was really messed up, I did say we were going to lose the game because I said I don't care about the FA Cup, and I still don't care about it. What I do care about is the performance of the players, and I'm starting to get worried about what the manager is doing. And I've never said that out before, but I'm starting to worry. I'm actually getting sick of seeing certain players on the pitch, and I know we have no choice because our squad is very weak, but I've had enough of seeing Joe Ward on the pitch. I've had enough of seeing Jordan Ayew on the pitch. I'm not scapegoating them because I could name a bunch of players that were poor today. But I'm sick of saying Jeffrey Schlupp get on the pitch. And honestly, our goalkeeper is starting to really give me some vibes that I don't like. Both goals today were extremely poor. The second goal is absolutely horrific. It's horrific. It's embarrassing. It was embarrassing. But even the first goal, where Joe Ward jumps up and kind of whatever, and then he lets that ball in. I can't. So it's bad. You know what? The fan base can be negative and have at it. That's fine. I mean, but right now there's just not a lot to be thing. Because I have to know, honestly, you were there, D. Right? They're a terrible team. Their fans were making fun of them, laughing at them until they turned the game around. They're not a good side.
I've never seen a side.
I heard them say, right?
Yeah,
right,
I've never seen a side that want their manager out after 4 games. You know how badly your team has to play for you to want a new manager out after 4 games. Yep. They wanted the manager out after 4 games. They came to Selhurst Park. They came to our ground while sitting 20th in the league. I know it was in the league game. They came to our ground while sitting 20th in the league. And you're telling me that's the best that we can do with the players that we got out there? That's the best?
Not good enough. Not good
That's
enough.
the best? When you have Elise starting, Will starting, Edward starting, Doucouré starting, Anderson, Gahey, Guaita, that's the best that we can do against a side that has no identity. That's what the own fans are saying.
Yeah.
There reaches a point where, I get it, you're not going to win every game. You're going to have bad patches. But from what I've seen today, that is not a Vieira side that I've seen before. Because after we conceded that second goal, I had no hope. I'm pretty sure the majority of the people had no hope here. Heads dropped. It's pathetic. It's an absolute pathetic performance. We deserve to lose.
Oh,
we did.
No doubt.
After the first
100%.
goal, we can talk about, they scored fluky goals. It's not just about fluky goals. How well did we play? We didn't play good. Right. What did we cause them? We didn't cause them any threat. They caused us more danger. We were lucky at times that the final ball didn't reach the striker because they could have had more goals. Now, if you're struggling against Southampton, a side that is pretty much destined to go to the Championship, what does that say about us? What does it say about us? I've said it many times. We have Championship quality players, and I'm reaching a point where maybe they're not even good enough for the Championship. We have Championship quality players starting week in, week out, and it's getting boring. It is getting boring. I don't want to come on here and talk about the same things over and over again. Joe Ward is not a right back or left back at this level anymore. That's the sad truth. So why does it start week in, week out? Nathaniel Klein, same situation. Jordan Ayew, I get it. He can run. And I've said it, like, I wanted him to start maybe about 2 games ago after the Bournemouth game. Against Tottenham, I wanted him to start. But it reaches a point where we're starting players based on how much effort they put in. Like, do you know how poor that is at this level? Effort is the minimum requirement. Jordan Ayew, why did it stop? Because he's good pressing off the ball. Great, but what can he do on the ball? Look at the production levels over the last 5 years.
But
like 3 goals in like 100 games, 2 assists.
But he starts because we have no squad depth. That's the issue.
We have Eze that could have started today. At least he could have went out wide. Eze could have started. We have enough squad depth for Jordan Ayew not to start in our attack. We do. But look,
what about
it's not
Joe?
about,
What
it's not
about
about
Joe
just
Ward?
individuals.
Right.
It's not just about individuals. But
It's not.
honestly, we're
It's
coming
not.
on here. We're talking about the game, and we're going to be frustrated. Of course, we lost to Southampton, but I've reached a point where if the players don't give any toss, why
Right.
should I? Why should I?
You're
It
way
doesn't
too emotional.
like.
Exactly. You
But,
came on the
but
native.
funny enough, I'm an
Oh.
idiot because I still do give a toss. That's why I'm frustrated here.
Yeah.
But
You care
seriously,
too
though,
much.
seriously, it's just the best that we can do. The games that we got coming up,
Let's not go there. Let's not. Don't
the
look.
performance
Let's
we had
focus.
today.
Focus on what now. I'm not worried about. Don't worry about
Season's
the next
over,
game.
first and foremost.
Right.
Season's over because
Exactly.
we're out of the FA Cup. We're not going to do anything in the league. But it can be a long few weeks. It can do. When your best option, you're struggling, your best option coming off the bench is Jeffrey Schlupp. You have likes of Jeffrey Schlupp coming off the bench to come and save you. That's when you know. That's when you know things are bad. We just don't have the depth. And
Nope.
it is extremely worrying and very, very frustrating. And I spoke about it before, Patrick. You said the owners, you know, they spent money before. Do it now. Do it now. You didn't do it in the summer. Do it now. We need players. And I was making that debate where we should buy them now in January. We need them now. No games. We need them right now.
It's not
New
happening.
players.
It's not happening.
Well, if it's not happening, just know that a lot of people are going to be pissed off. And people like me that don't have any trust is going to prove my point as well. Because that's the reason why I don't have any trust in them. That's the reason why. I don't think
that's fair. But again, the funds allocated elsewhere, we're not going to spend it. We should have spent the money in the last window. We didn't address the two. Because if we had bought a right back and a midfielder, we wouldn't have this discussion now, unless they were really bad buys, which is possible because we have made bad buys in the past. But we had to address two positions. We didn't. We took a chance on hoping Ferguson would get back, hoping Mac would be okay, and it didn't work out, you know. And this is where we are. And we will not blood any of our youngsters. None of them are good enough apparently because they don't ever play. So we're out of the cup. We're in 12th place, and we go from here. But we're not going to buy any players, and we're going to link with a bunch of players. But we're not going to get a single player because
but that's not good enough though. We can't see.
I get it. I don't think it's good enough.
It's not. We
bought
players in the summer. I understand that, but we just bought Decore and Richards that stood out. Johnson we haven't seen. We'll talk about goalkeeper. We'll talk about Vicente later on down the show. But it's not good enough. There's teams that spending. Look at teams like Brentford. They're teams around us, but they're progressing. What are we doing? We're just getting left behind. Look at the squad that we have. We've got quality players, but we've got some absolutely dreadful players as well.
Not enough quality, though. There's not enough quality in this squad. There's not enough quality.
I said this last week. Well, not last week. Last match reaction against Tottenham. We have a very imbalanced squad. We got some very good players and some very awful players. We got players that won't even start for championship clubs. 100%. And I'm not even over exaggerating. Go look at some championship clubs. Look at the players that they've got. And look at some of the players that we got. Some of these players won't even start for them. Like, yeah, look. I need to bring Stan onto the show. He's going to be the first call. If you guys want to join and have your say, feel free because I'm massively pissed off. It's just very frustrating. Stan,
what's going on?
Out the FA Cup. You're out of your house.
You know what? I got so annoyed. I had to bring this little guy to the park, man, because he was just... I've no words for that performance, mate. And there's so many things that have gone wrong, or not gone wrong, but like there's so many parts to it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, let's just read out the super comment from Joe Knight. Joe Knight, thank you for the super chat. Southampton couldn't buy a win right now and turn up like the team at the foot of the league. I've no drive to turn up to sell us anymore. Absolute jerk. You know what, Joe? I don't think you're the only person. I feel like that as well. And I'm pretty sure majority of it because the players got viewed off today. The players got viewed off, but I appreciate the super chat as well. But look, Stan, it was like how I saw the game. We played well until we scored the first goal. Then the rest is history. It was done. It was done after that. Yeah, we can see some fluky goals, but I honestly didn't see us scoring another goal. They created a lot of chances. We gave them way too much respect. It was pathetic. I honestly, it's a pathetic performance, and I'm holding it in. By the way, I'm genuinely holding it in. I don't know how much longer I can hold it in, but I'm very.
I ain't gonna hold it in, bro.
I'm very pissed off. I am very pissed off. There's so many elements I'm pissed off about this performance, about what's going on with the club right now.
Patrick's warming up. Look at him. He's like that. Patrick's warming up. He's like that.
It's very frustrating. It's
I
genuinely
don't
very
care.
frustrating.
I don't care anymore.
Of course you care, mate. Of course you care.
No, I don't. You don't know me.
Everyone
I don't care.
cares.
I don't care. I told Dee this before after the Newcastle game, do the World Cup break. I don't care. Trust me. If I cared, I'd get upset and rant like Dee did. I'm not gonna do that. You guys can do that. Go ahead. I don't care anymore. It's what it is. It's what it is, mate. It's what it is. Trust me.
Listen, this performance in the past couple of weeks, I think 10 days ago we were on here, 3 of our last 5 won, etc., etc. We've lost 4 of our last 5 now, and they've all been bad defeats. Everyone that we've lost has been a bad defeat. We beat Bournemouth by some miracle. They weren't at the races that day. They weren't great. Southampton are meant to be worse than Bournemouth. We were good for 25 minutes, and then they came and played us off the park. You know what? People are slating VG. I think he saved us a lot over the years. I still think he's a decent goalkeeper, but he had an absolute mare today. And those 2 errors unacceptable. I mean, Joel Ward, did he duck out the way of a header for the first goal? I can't remember. I'm thinking, trying to look back to it. But it was like, the keeper's just got to come and freaking claim that. I mean, that's ridiculous. Their second goal, the less said, the better. But listen, guys, this is Alan Pardew-esque performances, you know, like under Pardew, especially late on, where we controlled the game for 25, 30 minutes, played them off the park, and then boom, ended up losing games. And this is what's happening. They've either got to back Vieira with the players that he needs, whether it's loan or permanent, or they just, do you know what I mean? Make a change and bring in a puppet that's going to do what you want to do. Do you know what I mean? Because this is ridiculous, mate. How have we lost to them? They're terrible. They are terrible. They didn't even create any chances. Do you know that? They created
There's
nothing.
also that as well. I never
We
thought
gave
about
them
that.
2
But
goals.
they did create chances. They did create chances, but they didn't take their chances. But look, I don't think people understand it. People might say, all right, we lost to Southampton, don't overreact. But before this game, if you watch Southampton, if you've seen what they've been saying,
they've been terrible.
They've already said that they're going down to the Championship. Like, that's how bad they've been. But today, we look like we were the side that's 20th in the league. We look like we were going to the Championship. They couldn't defend before. They couldn't attack. They were lost. They've been
really
lost.
bad.
Their recent form has been absolutely dreadful. And they're away from home, and they've done this to us.
Yeah, but do you know what, though?
At our ground.
Do you know what, though? Before everyone's back gets up on here, I'm not saying Vieira out, okay? But what is he doing to motivate these players? Okay, what is he doing at the moment to motivate these players? Where's the organisation? Where's the leadership? Like, do you know what I mean? What's his tactical philosophy? And you know what? He persists and persists and persists with Joel Ward. There are other options. There are other options in this squad apart from Joel Ward. Are you again hit the bar, missed an absolute sitter? Like, guys, come on! Like, this guy is like, he's starting to annoy me. He's starting to really frustrate me. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying that we would have won the game today or whatever, but like, these options are just ridiculous. Like, come on. Like, these tactical selections, like, what's happened to him?
Look, in terms of the starting lineup, even before the game started, we can quickly mention that. I feel like I was 2 players away from being my ideal starting lineup. I would start Eze instead of Jordan Ayew, and I would start Tyrick Mitchell as well. But
Tyrick's banned.
Yeah, he's banned. Yeah, but I'm saying we're 2 players away. But yeah, like that shows even our strongest lineup, you still have the likes of Nathaniel Klein probably starting there. I mean, I don't know. I'm genuinely like lost for words. I'm genuinely lost for words. I just expect a bit more. You know, I just expect a bit more. Not a bit more. I expect more. And I think the fans do as well. I was at the ground today. The fans.
Where's the ambition of this club, though? Like, what's the ambition of this club? Like, is this the ambition of this club? Like I said the other week, is to get to 40 points, and that is it. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, mate.
Well,
you know what?
The ambition that you're talking about, it all stems from the guys at the top. That's what I was saying. That's what I've been saying all along. Of course, the window just recently opened, but I just don't have faith in them. I just don't have the faith in our ownership group. Someone left a comment. I can't find it right now. One of our owner group, Harrison Blitzer, they're trying to buy another Premier League club. Whenever a big Premier League club is available, they're trying to buy it. Texter, I don't know
You know
what
what?
he's doing.
D, you know what?
he's
I'm gonna
doing.
say this.
I don't know what's going on. I just don't. Like we're just gonna get left behind. We're just gonna get left behind if they treat us like a business. If they just want to make cash. It's just before the window started. Forget about this game. We've had these problems for a long time. Before the window started, the message from the board was that we're not looking to make major signings, only loan moves. Loan moves was never going to be enough. It was never going to be enough. There was no ambition even before the window opened. That's why I'm worried.
But
How
D,
can the board come and say that they just want loan moves? Seriously, when you look at the squad, do you think 1 or 2 loan moves sorts us out? It's bigger than that.
but D, you
Bigger
keep
than that, man.
you keep focusing on the American one, which is fine. But let's focus on Parish. What does Parish say? Parish has made it very clear that one, you just said we're not going to sign any new players, and the focus is on the newsstand and the academy. So why are you getting upset when you know he's already laid out? We're not going to get players.
Because Parish is not the cash cow for this team. The
But
cash
he's not
cow
in
for
the
this
team. But he makes the decisions, though.
No, he makes the decisions. But Patrick, if I give you a £10, if I give you £10 and I tell you, I'll go out there, we're gonna throw a party, get everything for £10. Like there's only so much that you can get. So am I gonna go blame you for the party being ruined? No.
He's saying Parish has no
money. You get if we had the money and Parish was making these moves and it's only going for loan moves and being then it would make sense. But he just doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the money. People that should provide the money,
listen,
haven't.
But I just told you, they provide the money for other things. They're not providing money for the squad. They're providing money for the stands and the academy.
But that's not good enough. Unfortunately, I've said this. That's not good enough.
I didn't say it's good. I'm just saying to you. That's come to that. You have to face that fact, though. The money's being spent on the main stand and on the academy. It's not being spent on the squad. If you don't know that, so why are you getting upset about it? It's
that
clear.
Main stand. I'm telling you, if we continue not investing in the squad, that main stand in the championship in a few years,
that's what I'm
saying. Pointless. There'll be less people as it currently stands in the stadium.
Guys, we're in a relegation battle. We are in a relegation battle this season, and don't even get it twisted.
No, we're not. Not yet. We're not. No, we're not.
We are.
Not yet.
We are.
No, we are not. No, we are not. We are not. We're in 12th place. No, we are not, because we're closer to 8th than we are to the relegation. What we are in trouble. We're not in a relegation fight right now. We absolutely not. You want to project 5 games out? Okay, so you must be see the future. Maybe we'll be. Right now, we are not in a relegation battle. We would be in 5 games possibly, but right now we are not.
It's ridiculous. You know what? I'm with D. What good is that stand in the championship when you get 14,000 people going? Do you know what I mean? You know what I will say? They've made it clear, Harris and Blitzer, that they're not interested. They ain't interested, right? So this is what I'm going to say here. I'm not going to come for Steve Parish. I'm not going to come for John Textor because, I've done enough of that with Steve Parish and there's no point, okay? And he's done a lot of good for this club. But Harris and Blitzer, get out of our club. Get out. If you don't want to invest the money, go and buy Chelsea or Arsenal or Liverpool or some other big team like that and do what you got to do, but get out of our club.
I agree. It's honestly pathetic. Like seriously, it's basically cheating at this point. They're just cheating on us. whenever something better comes, they're straight away gone. They're straight away. Oh, what can we do? And we let it slide as a fan base. We had to let it get to the stage of us being absolutely shambolic for us to realize like how much of a shambles it is. That our current owners, that are billionaires, that own lots of other teams, have been flirting with big clubs. Chelsea available, they're interested. Liverpool available, they're interested. And this was before the shambles started. But we've let it slide.
But you know what? You've got to call it on the Homesdale fanatics and on the fans. They've got to speak. They've got to speak up now. Speak up at games. We don't want these people in our club.
Trust me, the team knows how the fan feels. Because I was at the game today, and unlike the Spurs game, there were a lot of boos. And the players got it. Mateta and other players were trying to clap. They were literally, the fans were literally saying, "Go away! Like we're not having none of it. We don't need your claps. Show us what's on the pitch." They've got the message. It's now on them. But I wonder what Vieira's going to say after the game as well, because that's what's interesting. Look, Vieira has faults as well. I understand. He has faults. He has his favourites. He plays them. He could have changed it up a bit more. Substitutions, I understand it. But he's clearly not happy with our strategy in the business, in the transfer window as well. So what is he going to say after this game? I wonder if he's going to call out the
But you
owners
know
once
what?
again.
It might be time for him to go. I'm not getting backed. Where's this? Where's that? Do you know what I mean? Like, someone's got to say something because it's getting ridiculous. We haven't got like,
Yeah.
what's Parrish going to do now? Bring in 2 loan players, put lipstick on a pig. Like, do you know what I mean? We've been overtaken into another stratosphere by the likes of Brentford, Brighton. You know, it's ridiculous. We've been here for 10 years.
Yeah, it is. It is. Anything else you want to say, Stan, before we rotate? There's a few people waiting.
Keep the faith.
Yeah. Not after today. There's no faith for me to keep. Let's just say that. There's
Keep
no
the faith,
for me to
mate.
keep. But look, appreciate you coming on, Stan.
All right, lads. Cheers.
Catch up soon.
Nice one. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Next up, we got Luke coming onto the show to have your say. If you guys want to have your say as well, feel free to join. Click on the pinned comment. Join via audio, video. Luke, welcome.
Hello,
to
guys.
the show. Frustrating afternoon once again at Selhurst Park. Another defeat. It hasn't been good recently, but for you, where did it go wrong?
I don't know. I think we've had a bad few. I think we had bad games recently. A few bad games. Maybe attacking. I don't know. It's just I get why IU is on the pitch.
Why do you think he's on the pitch?
IU's just there to work hard, isn't he? I mean, you kind of need that in the team, but at the same time, recently he has let us down in the finishing department, like finishing the goals.
Recent times, I can't remember when Jordan, apart from one season when he scored 9 goals, I can't remember Jordan Ayew in his career being a goal scorer. I think that's been Jordan Ayew since we've known him, apart from one season, and that was 18-19, I believe, where he scored 9 goals and actually played a big part in terms of keeping us up. But I mean, that's what I'm saying. What do we expect? Like, what do you expect from Jordan Ayew? Another chance missed. What do you expect? What is wet? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. He's not going to change. He's not that quality player.
No,
that it's the same with our fullbacks. We talk about week in, week out. Yeah, they had another whatever shocker. It was another bad performance. So what happens next? Same thing week in, week out.
I mean, our midfield's a problem as well. We clearly see it for the past couple of games now.
What's not a problem? Let me ask you this, Luke. What's not a problem? What do you think is not a problem? Because when we look at it, genuinely, our fullbacks are a problem, midfield's a problem. For you, what area of the pitch, on a more positive note, are you...
Zaha is not our problem. Zaha is our best player on the pitch.
So do you think we've gone back to being a one-man team again?
Quite possibly.
See, that's the danger.
I don't think Elise has had a good couple of games. I think he's not on it really. The only good game I can remember Elise having was probably against West Ham, and that was a couple of months ago.
He played well against Bournemouth. He played well today. I disagree. He didn't play well against Spurs. He played well against Bournemouth, and he played well. He played very well today. I thought he really did. So
Eze, I don't know what's up. I mean, is he being played out of position? Do you think maybe try him out wide?
I don't think he's playing out of position. I think this is his best position, but once again, I'm not too sure. I think with the problems with the wide players is they need fullbacks who are capable of overlapping and being an attacking threat as well as a defensive threat. I remember times where Tyreek was very good and he's performing, and that helped Wilf. You had the combination of Wilf, Mitchell, and Eze, and teams were struggling to stop that. But when Ty lost form, then there was another problem that showed up out wide areas because it was just Wilf attacking. We didn't have that support going forward as much. And I feel like our fullbacks, we talk about it defensively, but going forward, the modern fullback, you see it in majority of the teams. They need to attack and defend. But our one, forget about attacking, we can't even defend. We're just in absolute shambles. We can't do either of them, which impacts our wide players as well because they don't have the support going around them. And when they do, it's just bad quality. Just bad quality balls, bad decisions. And today, I don't know about you, Luke, but we just got the basics wrong as well. That's what just frustrates me. It's like
the passing.
Basic passes. Basic decision making. Like, seriously.
The goalie didn't have a good game as well.
He was terrible. No, he was
It
terrible.
was look, the first goal, laughable. Second goal, what on earth? Like what on earth? But for you, Luke, where do we go from here onwards? Like, how do we come out of this?
Get a
It's
right
not
back,
easy.
get a right back, get a left back, and get a central midfielder. That's what we
Are you
need right now.
confident that we will get these players in this window?
I think we'll get one, but I don't think we'll get all three.
That's the worry. That's the worry because we've still got a lot of games to play.
Maybe get one player who can actually play all three positions. That's what I can think of. I mean, who's out there?
Exactly, especially with how tight we are. I don't know who we can get, especially with that quality. But look, Luke, thank you for coming on to the show. I know it's frustrating, but I always appreciate talking to you.
Up the Palace, man.
Take care. Next up, we got Patrick, and then we'll bring on Laura as well. Patrick, welcome onto the show. Palace 1, Southampton 2, out of the FA Cup in the third round. Where do you think it went wrong for us?
Man, the lineup, but there's nothing. See, it's one of those frustrating things. Every week, people get on here, myself, every couple of weeks now, where it's the same thing: midfield, right back, left back, IU starting. I could sound like a broken record. I'm just not going to. Here's the thing: I'm not Vieira's biggest fan, but please tell me what is he going to do? Like, I didn't think I'd become like this, but who could he have put in to make it any different? Is Rydewald that much better than Ward? Is going to a back three, then you got no wing backs? What tactical adjustment can he make to get the players just to do their damn job? Seriously.
I think that's a problem as well. And I think that's a problem that starts from the club. I mean, look, for example, IU, he has had some good games for us, but we just gave him a contract extension. We're in love. We're obsessed with keeping players on rather than moving on with some of them. I get it can be more expensive. I get that it can be more expensive, and I think that's the reason why they don't move on from some of these players and they give them new contracts, because it puts them in their comfort zone. They just have another player available for another 2 to 3 years. But even today, as you said, Patrick, when you have some of the options that's coming off the bench, apart from Eze, like Luka, Jeffrey Schlupp, honestly, are these the players that's going to change the game for us after being 2-1 down?
Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. After Southampton, after Krause's kick went in, I cut it off because I have the ESPN plus package in the States here. We all knew it was going to happen once that ball went in there. But how did Hughes look the rest of the way? That's the only reason I watched this game, to be honest with you. Not much of a difference, right?
He didn't do anything special. He didn't do anything special.
So then the
but that's the problem, though. Our second alternative that we call for, we say Jeff Schlupp. I say it. I'm not gonna lie. I say Jeff shouldn't start in midfield. But our option that Hughes that we talk about is not a savior as well. Like, we still need improvements.
So
he's just better than stuff, but it's still not good enough for the level that we want to be at.
So if he didn't look that good, then I mean, like I said, I sometimes I've gotten on here and you've heard my deep dark statements about how the games are trash and it's really horrible. But I mean, I'm really starting to get into the camp of what could Vieira do? Like, there's other than throwing his hands up in there and playing every academy player, which is not realistic. You can only complain about the ownerships so much. I agree with what Patrick's saying. Nobody's really getting on Parrish about it. He's the one that runs the club. He's the one there day to day. And he's talking about the new stand. That new stand's going to be up 10 years from now when my youngest kid's 21. That's what, 6 years now? Come on, man. Doesn't take that long to do a stand because you're being held up by two people that owns houses around the corner in a Stainsbury or whatever the heck that store over there is, you guys say every week. I mean, he's got to be held accountable. And if the fans over there aren't going to do it, then you know what happens eventually, right? You go down. I don't think it's all doom and gloom for this year, but it's not looking good.
Exactly, especially if they're spent. But how do you get out of this, Patrick, with the current players that we got? Do you think Vieira has to change the system, it's very hard. I don't know. Honestly, we still got good enough players, but honestly, if the players don't care, which is maybe, I don't know if I'm right saying this, they're not care. That's what I felt like. After the second goal went in, let me just say this. After the second goal went in, I had no faith of a comeback. But Palace last season, 100%, because we've done it last season as well many times. But this season, it's just not the same Palace. It's not the same Palace I saw in the first season under Vieira.
Really, with this group, the only way that he can keep with no help, let's just say they get nobody in. Metro comes back in 2 games. So really, to me, the only way you get out of it is whoever practices the hardest. Who cares if they're out of position? Play the top 11 that actually gives a damn. I mean, I'd like to see Johnston in for a couple games because Guaita is letting everything in. So he's not even commanding the box, nothing. He's not yelling at the defenders. I mean, I can't blame Joe Ward for playing out of position and being 33 years old and not fast. He's just not any good anymore. But
it's a problem.
Vieira could play Luka a little bit more with the Core and the two. I mean, look, that's what we're down to, right? We're now talking
Luka. Look what we're talking about. Like, exactly, that's the problem. The squad just we've got so many players. We still got players that were in a Roy era that weren't good enough.
Look, hopefully
we're still playing them now. We're playing them now. We're making them come off the bench now. We still got these players.
Yeah, I think if they can get forget them buying anybody. Just throw that down the street. They can get 2 loans like Parrish claimed. Then hopefully those 2 loan players, whoever they are, can come in because they want to do something for somebody else next year, and they just stabilize this year, and we can get out of the funk that we're in. Because you look ahead at that schedule, man. You're talking about we're not in a relegation battle now. You're right. In about 2 weeks, we will be. So Villa's getting better. Wolves are eventually going to get better because they're going to spend a little bit. Nottingham Forest is playing. I mean, I know they're out of the top, out of the bottom 3, but still, West Ham. Come on, they're not going to be down there long. I mean, so Moisey will do enough to scrape them out of it. So we're in trouble. And if we're not going to do anything, how does Patrick Vieira stay motivated himself?
Exactly. If we brought in Vieira as a change to the football club, new style of football, young manager, but then if you're not backing this young, because let's be honest, we get that the players' contracts are running out. I understand that, and we're waiting for these contracts to run out. But we're also still giving contracts to some of these players that are just not good enough for this level.
Well,
and that's on us. And the other side of it, so we give contracts to these players, or we get rid of them and we bring in better quality players, which is going to be more expensive. See, we're just going for the cheaper route. That's what we've been doing. We've been just going for the cheaper route in terms of renewing these players that we have.
Outside of last summer, that's all they ever did anyway. That's the way it's always been, except that one window with Big Sam there. Like I said, me and you have argued the last year and a half about the club wouldn't go forward. I never believed it. I never believed it because of the ownership. Because like I said, Blitzer and Harris, look, anything they touch turns to trash. When they took over the Sixers, they nearly lost. People don't look at that enough. When they took over the 76ers, the NBA nearly took the team away from them because they weren't putting any money in. So anything they touch, it turns bad. So yeah, you want them out of the club. But the one that's running it now, Parrish is there every day. He knows his budget. He knows. Stop setting the fans standards like we're going to actually progress ahead, move ahead, and play all open football. No, actually, the football's regressed slowly back to Royisms. So, I've never bought it, not with the ownership. So,
but hold on a second. I'm going to disagree with you on the transfers because again, you guys you're going to forget last summer. Gahey, Anderson, Olise, Edward. It's not a bad window for any club. So don't tell me that.
No, that's the one I'm talking about, Patrick.
You said the one. You said the one back to when you said something about Alphonse Roy.
Okay, yeah. So that's 2 and what?
Okay, I'm just saying though, but that's the most recent one of that has basically had to transform the squad. So I'm not saying our windows of late have been great, but that window was a very good window for us. You can't say getting those 4 players was not a good window for Crystal Palace.
I never said that. And Decore this year is very good. That's the best pickup. That's a very good pickup. But if you don't maintain it or even supplement it, then what happens? You're looking
on that. I'm just saying that we can't just start statements that every window's been poor since Vieira's been here, which is not true. But again, the last window, no one's going to say the last window wasn't awful. The Corey was we all know that. We all know that. I mean,
but the problem is,
I tell you what, we're talking about players that don't play. I would like to see Chris Richards play some. And if that means he's got to go into a back 3, I don't know who the heck plays wings backs, but then
That's
do
no
it.
problem. We don't have wing backs.
Yeah, that's
so
so.
we don't have players to play wing back. So
Yeah, so I mean, and I don't think Richards is much of a fullback. I mean, it's like one of the, But I'd like to see Rideawell play more. You tell me he doesn't practice good enough hard enough. Forget good enough. We're at the point now. We're looking for players to just play hard.
I get that, Patrick. But Reader World has had different kinds of managers, different types of managers with different ideas. It's never worked out. For me, if it's not going to work out on the Vieira, it's just simply that's it. And he hasn't. So he's a player that we have there that is clearly of no use apart from the youth. There is stuff behind the scenes that does help in terms of integrating the youth players into the first team. But he's a footballer. He's not a development coach. He's a footballer. He's not a good enough footballer. He's another player that we need to look at and say, we need to genuinely look at the squad and say, what players are good enough? And there's a lot of players that are not, that will still keep on. That's what I fear the most. Because it's going to be more expensive to get rid of these players, bring in the replacements, and not give them new contracts.
Whose contract runs out
next year? Simple way out. That's the thing.
Whose contract runs out next year? MacArthur and Joe Ward?
Tompkins.
Awesome. There should be we should have another big summer. There should be about 6-7 people, I believe.
And Lucas too, I believe, right?
Lucas should run out and stuff as well. But that's the thing. That'll be very interesting to see. So are they going to get rid of 6-7 players, bring in another 6-7? That's fine. But what's going to happen between now and then?
Are they going to split the shares?
I don't think we'll get relegated. I don't think we'll get relegated. But there will be points of the season. I said this last week. I'm not just saying this from this game. There will be points of the season where we genuinely talk about relegation, and we'll be in that battle. I think there will be points of the season. Now.
People already started. You hear what Stan said.
That's what I'm saying. There will be points of the season because this squad ain't good enough, and we're going to struggle more games. Well, look, Patrick, anything else that you want to add?
I think that 12th place is a false position at the moment. I mean, but they play. I mean, it just is. You look at that schedule in the next few weeks. I mean, look at the teams behind us. They're not great, but they're starting to pick up points. They don't need 5. They're not going to get 7 players coming in. Just get some 2 lone players. It's going to solidify us so we can at least fill in the positions that we're so weak at until the summer and see what happens. That's all.
Can I just back you guys up for a second, okay? I get all the negativity, but let's just take a step back, okay? You say it's a false position. We're not halfway through the season yet. We want to play 17 matches. We have 22 points. How many points keep us up? 40? You guessing, right? So 18 more points, which is 6 more wins. We already have 6 already. Why do you say it's a false position when it's where we are right now? I'm not saying we're playing great, and the season has been a terrible season so far for my expectations, but it's not a false position, Patrick, because we have those 22 points. We are 5 points ahead of Leicester. We are 7 points ahead of Everton or in the last relegation. You guys want to project going forward, and I get all that. But why do that? Let's just take it as it comes, as opposed to saying we're in the 4th position, which again I disagree with because we've earned those 22 points so far. We just
take bad football as it comes. I mean, it's like keeping a headache without taking any medication.
Bad football. Aren't you one that supported Roy for all those years about bad football?
Actually, no. When I mean bad football, I mean bad results. I did support Roy.
It is bad results. Bad results.
No, that's what when I say Patrick. When I say bad football, I mean bad results. I don't care how Palace looks as long as they win. That's me. I don't care if it's boring Tony Pulis ball as long as we're getting a win or a draw out of it. And as for Roy.
We have to be past that, though. We have to be past just getting enough points. We have to be past the boring football.
Oh, I agree. You can get more points and play boring. Sean Dyche did it twice. When he took them into Europe, he finished almost in 9th place.
That guy's voice. Don't name that guy Sean Dyche.
They did well. But look, Patrick.
You don't have to like his football, but his results were positive.
I do have to like. No, actually, Patrick, I have to like both. I have to like results and the football. I'm sorry, I do have to like both. I'm at the point where listen. I've lived through a lot more than you guys have, but I've lived through late Allardyce, Pulis, Pardew, Roy. No, I don't know. I need to have both. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound like I'm. I need to have
Patrick,
good
for
results
you to have
and
both,
I need to have football.
For you to have both, we need
a better squad.
Yeah, so you want to be Leeds. You want to be Leeds. Is what you're saying. They look good. They play entertaining, and they do enough to stay in the league.
And by the way, I do agree with.
How about Brighton? though? I like you, Brighton, though, Patrick.
Brighton without the striker. Brighton. That's what you want. Brighton without the striker. I got you. All right. Hey.
Well, they are in 8th place right now. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
they have a better squad than we got. That's why they're in 8th place.
Right. I just said before when D was talking, we need a better squad. That's what I said. To play better football, you need a better squad. 100%.
Yeah.
I will not back off that point. I mean, I'm agree with everybody on that. But I'm not going to get into this doom and gloom relegation nonsense. But as far as needing more players and a better squad,
I'll be very surprised if you don't have relegation talk, and if we don't, I think we can.
No, it's already started, D. It's starting today. I know.
Yeah,
I'm not going to get into it.
But Patrick, one thing I will say is, you're saying how 12th. No, we've earned it. I'm sorry, I don't really agree with that. The reason why I don't agree with that is we this season, I can't remember.
Has been disappointing.
We've had Villa at home. That was a good performance. We've had
West Ham away.
Liverpool away, maybe.
Liverpool away was it was.
Liverpool away. But look,
Wolves.
I'm talking about first hand. Wolves, no, not really. First half was was very bad.
Villa at home.
Villa at home. I'm talking about genuine good performances. We barely had any, and that's going to catch up to you. And the example for that is Tottenham. Now, of course, we're not Tottenham's level, but they've managed to pick up points. No. They've managed to pick up points, but we're seeing it recently. They've been struggling, and slowly there's serious concern with their fan base in terms of what they're going to do. Slowly, these results will catch up to you,
fifth,
and that's why I think we'll be involved in a relegation talk, but I don't think we'll get relegated anyways. But look, there's a few people waiting behind the scenes. Patrick, okay. Patrick's gone. I was gonna say see you later. Thank you for coming on the show.
You scared him away, D. You always do that, man. You always do that.
I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean that. I was gonna actually say goodbye to Patrick, but let's bring on Law. Law, welcome to the show. Palace 1, Southampton 2.
Yo, thanks for having me, man. Sorry, that guy needs a hug. I'm so sorry. My guy needs a hug.
Frustrating evening, but what do you make of it, man?
I'm kind of similar. I think, first of all, I'm with Patrick in saying that we don't need to have the relegation talk. Call it denial, call it being overly optimistic, but
that could be it.
I don't think we're going anywhere. I think we're gonna stay. We'll probably be lower than we normally have been, probably like 14th at best. But I do not think this is a relegation team. Like, forgive me for being optimistic. I do agree with the fact that we need a replacement for Conor Gallagher. Like, we seriously do. Like, Decore needs support. He's a great player in my opinion. He just needs, I don't know, one or two players, probably a really good number 6 that can just give them that support. We need wing backs. Our centre backs, Gueye and Anderson, I can't hate them for it most of the time because they do make that effort. And can we also remind ourselves that we have probably one of the youngest teams. These guys are quite young. Yes, they are professional, but they are also youths. They're youths, guys.
That's a great point. That's a really good point.
So there is, and when it comes to the Premier League, this is the most difficult league in the world, arguably. So it's all about mentality rather than physicality as well. So what we're going through now is a war against our mentality right now. Ward, it hurts, man. It hurts because like this guy's been about since the administration days. Do you know what I mean? I can't hate the guy. But I know that we need a successor for Ward. But for those who are slandering Joel Ward, allow him, man. Allow him. Nathaniel Klein. I low-key blame Liverpool for breaking his legs, like, and then just giving it back, to us. Now that they don't need him, I'm like, all right, thanks, Scousers. I really appreciate that. Jeez. But we need a right back and we need a left back. We do need that depth. It is very, very obvious. And here's my own hot take. Take the number 9 from Jordan Ayew. I'm sorry. Take it away from him. He's not a number 9. He's not. He's not. Yes, he's hardworking. Yes, like anyone can run around the pitch. I can do that. I have an amazing anticipation when I play football, but I don't mean to sound like a mug when I talk about Jordan Ayew, but he should not be wearing that. He should not be wearing that number 9 shirt. Give it to Edouard. Every time I see Edouard play, I haven't seen every single game, but every time I see Edouard play, he's a threat. He scored today. And he's been injured most of this time. And Edouard has been injured most of this season. He scored more goals than Ayew. What does that tell you? You know,
Yeah, he's probably
And
scored
I
more
would say-
goals than I has in his last 3 to 4 years.
that's
in
what
one
I'm
season.
saying. The last time Ayew was on point, he wasn't even playing at Palace. Like, and the only positive I would say in general for Palace is like just the forwards. You know, around midfield or towards the forwards. Elise, Eze, Edouard, Mateta. I do see some fire in them, and it's frustrating. I think what we find frustrating ourselves. I'm convinced that some of these players are feeling the exact same thing. They are thinking this squad is imbalanced. Some of the OGs are just completely OGs. You're looking at Gandalf players these days. There needs to be some sort of replacement. Chris Richards, I'm sure he is fidgeting right now because he's like, yo, just put me on. But overall, yeah, it's going to be a boring season for us because we just got the Premier League. But in terms of us going down, the relegation talk, yeah, you can miss me with that because we don't have to worry about that. It's just worrying about the future of Palace.
So
Yo, Law. D first. Law, man. First,
No, go
brilliant
ahead.
call, man. Really appreciate you tuning in. But more importantly, you made some really good points, man. Thanks for tuning in. Really appreciate it, man. Great points.
No worries, man.
Yeah, some very good points. But Law, I'll just before you go, in
Mhm.
terms of the plays that you said, right back, left back, and a centre mid, I believe that you think that we need to improve on. Do we do that in this window? Are you confident that we do that business in this window? And if we don't, would you still not be worried about potentially getting dragged into that, bottom 3 battle?
Like, listen, D, it would be nice to get it now. It would be nice. Like, I heard you earlier say we need it now. I was like, I agree. It would be great. If we don't get anything until like the summer window, again, this is probably just me being over optimistic. It's going to be a little bit epic. We're going to be sweating. We're going to be sweating balls watching whether we're going to be able to survive or not. But
Yeah.
listen, yeah, even when I look at the next couple of fixtures, call me out that I'm wrong, but I know that Palace are known to beat big teams. We are known for that. Definitely. We have that history and we can do that again. I know that who we got? We got Chelsea, then we got Newcastle, then Man United, and then Liverpool. Listen, one of my boys supports Liverpool, right? And even though in the past Liverpool has it hasn't been as epic as before, every time it comes up to be a Palace Liverpool fixture, he's just like, yo, I hope Christian Ball don't happen, like every
a lot
time.
of people, a lot of people.
No matter what, we have left a scar on big teams. We have left the scar. They do not take us lightly. That's the thing, and there is a reason for that. There's obvious a reason for that. But so yeah, my answer is, hey man, keep your feet on the ground. But I don't think it's the end of the world, personally.
Yeah, hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we do bring in some players, and then we stop talking about these other players that we keep bashing every single week, because literally it is majority of the times it is them though. They just let us down and they're just simply not good enough. But any other last things that you want to say looking into the Chelsea game? So are you confident then?
Why not? And if I was not starting, then why not?
Yeah.
Give the number 9 to someone else. Give the number 9 to someone else at least. Let him wear number 30 or something.
I hear that.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
We'll
Man.
see.
Thanks
All
so
right,
much.
Appreciate you, man. Great
Take
call,
care.
man. Take care, all right?
Take care, man.
Thank you.
Take care, man.
That was Law. Next up, we got Nate, and then we bring on AJ as well. If you guys want to call in and have your say, click on the pinned comment to join the show live via audio or video. If you're enjoying the show, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to not miss out on future Palace content. We want to hear from as much as you as possible. Let's bring on Nate. Nate, another defeat at home, out of the FA Cup third round. It is a frustrating time. Time watching Palace recently. What happened today?
4 words: charity professional football club. What's that? You can't score for love or money? Can't play charity professional football club. What's that? You haven't won a game with your new manager and you want your manager sacked? No, come play us. We'll sort you out. Just look, we actually did play quite well today, despite the scoreline, but weren't clinical in the first half when we were all over them. Gave away a stupid free kick from a defender that, let's be honest, should have been moved on a couple of years ago. Second half, Anderson decides to have an absolute brain fart. Him and Guaita get mixed up in what they're doing. Guaita doesn't think of clearing the ball out of danger. We get punished. We lose the game 2-1. I understand people's anger. I understand people expected more from the team. That's fair enough. But if you offered people get knocked out the FA Cup now and focus solely on the Premier League, get these relatively unpleasant run of fixtures out of the way, and then build some points off that, most people would snap your hand off. Obviously, people wanted the cup run of last season, where the cup was an exciting part of the season and everything. I never felt confident looking at that lineup today. It's the same players doing the same things week in, week out, but we've got no one else to play there. So why are people shocked that we're putting in really awful performances at home or questionable performances at home? Look, it wasn't great today. From what I spoke to Rich after the game, and he said we actually were a lot better than the scoreline suggests. But end of the day, we lost. We now have to get past Chelsea and Newcastle and Man United and Brighton, and all four of those are terrifying fixtures looking at them. But at the same time, you never know. Our confidence is so rock bottom now. It wouldn't shock me if we go and give some of them an uppercut. But it remains to be seen. I'm furious that we lost today, but I'd rather get knocked out of the cup now and focus on the league and focus on the cup and do like we did in 2016 when we couldn't buy a win, from January to April in the Premier League, and we were hoping, Christ, are we actually going to win a game? And when we did, we beat relegated Norwich. Really? But look, everybody's opinions are all different. Me personally, I understand people's anger. I'm not happy that we lost today, but look, the FA Cup is a luxury. We don't have the squad to compete in the cup and compete in the league. Hasn't been that way since we've been in the Premier League. So what do people want? Do you either want the cup and bin off the league, or do you want to bin off the cup and focus on the league? Unfortunately, we ain't got the squad to do both. Very few clubs do in the league. Only City, Chelsea, maybe Liverpool, and even Liverpool was struggling. So, I don't know. I mean, it was bad, but that's what Palace do. When you expect them to do something, they never do it. So, what can you say?
Yeah, the only thing that I'm worried about, Law said it as well, you're saying, why can't we beat Chelsea? The only thing that I'm worried about is, yes, we have done it in the past, beating big teams, but that Tottenham game gave me a massive concern, because that was another big side that wasn't performing that great. And my biggest fear was the inconsistency. We saw in the first half, we played decent. We ended the first half very good against Tottenham. By the second half, that collapse, that inconsistency coming out again, that's my biggest fear. I don't know if these players can do it for 9 minutes. And that's why now, even when we do face the bigger teams that are maybe struggling and not doing so well, by the way, I don't think Chelsea's won a game in the Premier League since October, November, or something crazy like that. But yeah,
why wouldn't it shock me, D, if they haven't won a game since they beat us at Selhurst Park thanks to Gallagher? Why wouldn't it shock me?
I don't know. I just for me, I find it very, I don't know. At this point, maybe it's just this game, but I just find it very hard at this point how we're gonna beat anyone else. I mean, we're going to their ground, Stamford Bridge. It doesn't really matter because we're awful at home anyways. But yeah, I just don't have the optimism. I just don't have the optimism based on how we've been so far. But for you, Nate, look, the window's open. Do you think it's a case of you talked about the starting lineup? You said that it's probably the best we can do, but it's still not good enough. Do you think after this performance, after what we saw against Tottenham, that they will finally spend money, that we will bring in players sooner rather than later?
Not in this window, no. I think they're going to aim to do a clear out in the summer, like we did after Roy left, and try and do something then. A lot of people are going to flip the lid over that, but if you look at it, there's some high earners that are out of contract at the end of the season. Klein, Ward, Schlupp, Luca, Ayew, even I think White is out of contract as well. So there's a number of players that a lot of people are screaming to get out of the club. They're gone in the summer. So the question then remains, what do people like? Yeah, obviously, hearing the chairman come out and say, oh, we're not going to be spending money in January. I expected as much. I'm not happy that he said that, but the club has other priorities. Now, the squad is in urgent need of revamping, but we're still in the process of a rebuild. And people are forgetting this. It's not an instantaneous, you spend £200 million and all of a sudden we're a great football team. We're still trying to pick up the pieces from Roy Hodgson pretty much trying to draw blood out of a stone. Now, obviously, you look at some of the teams that have come up and have outspent us and outperformed us, and they're all doing brilliant. But we're playing catch-up from when we last got relegated in 2005. And I'm not trying to make excuses for that. But when you look at the leaps and bounds we're trying to make, yes, the main stand is this albatross over our heads where, the main stand's coming next year. No, it's coming next year. Look, just forget about anything else to do with the club. The majority of our business will be done in the summer, where we're clearing out a whole heap of players that everybody wants gone, and we'll see who the club can sign. But I don't know. Me personally, I'm just going to let this January window roll. If we sign anyone, cool. If we don't, cool. We've got to make do with what we have. Is it good? Nah. But we're not blessed with a bottomless pit of money. I wish we were. I wish we would get questionable owners that could just throw money at the problem and everything's rosy in the world of Palace. But it don't work like that. Hasn't done all this time. So, look, everyone's entitled to their opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying anyone else is wrong. People have the right to want the best for the club, and that can come in many forms. Patrick has a different opinion to a lot of people. Doesn't make him right or wrong. Everybody's opinion is their own opinion. And look, I would love to see the club do business this January, D. I really would. But do I see it happening? No.
Yeah. Look, I think when we talk about the rebuild, the way that works is, all right, we have this summer, but I'm just thinking, what is it all going to be a case of players run out of contract? I don't know if that's. I don't know when we have this next big period of players going out of contract, getting out of contract. I think money has to be spent regardless, and I'm very interested to see how much you spend. I'll be very surprised if you spend like we did in the first summer that Vieira joined, and that's the biggest concern. I mean, with the rebuild, yes, it will take a bit of time, but you also have to spend money. And I'm not too sure if they'll spend the same amount of money that they spent before, and I think that's the biggest question mark for me. Anyways,
sure.
in this rebuild, because that rebuild is pointless if you don't actually go and spend the money and buy players. But of course, it will take a bit of time. With Palace, we can't splash 200 million in one window. But then again, you will have to spend. You have to spend more than we have right now.
People are expecting it to just be instantaneous, and there's never a question about it. It depends. Look, I would love to see us use our academy, but a lot of those players ain't ready. And I'll stand and say this on several of your shows. So look, like I said, I am not really confident that we're going to sign anyone. I'd love to see us sign someone for the love of God, just to appease the fan base. But me personally, I can't see it. I would love to be proven wrong, but the way that the murmurs coming from the club at the moment, it's not looking good.
I was just going to quickly ask you, Nate, do you think Vieira is going to look at this as well? Do you think there could be a lack of patience from him if this prolongs as well over the long period of time? I guess they had a conversation when he first joined the club. But, for example, I'm pretty sure he wasn't happy about summer. If he's not happy about the January window as well, he's out of contract in 2024. Do you think we're reaching a stage where maybe Vieira himself is like, look, I don't think we're both working on the same level here. You guys clearly are not willing to spend as much. We desperately need more players, so I'm out of it. Do you think there's a concern like that potentially happening?
Yes. I mean, you would have expected, having gotten rid of a safe pair of hands like Roy Hodgson, that the board would be a little less tight on the purse strings. And obviously we did spend a good bit of money last summer, but a lot of people were expecting not necessarily identical levels, but similar levels on more than just 4 players, because Malcolm Abuwe, as far as I remember, was a free transfer. Sam Johnston the same. Chris Richards and Decore were the only 2 players we paid money for. Yes, we missed out on Flynn Downs and 1 or 2 other players, but if we're being realistic, we would have expected more. Like it came across that there was no alternative to Flynn Downs after West Ham snatched him from us. And I'm thinking, what is going on where we don't have backups to backups, where even if, for example, we signed a player from the Championship who, granted, Flynn Downs was in the Championship, but for argument's sake, we signed a player that's not on anybody's radar at the moment, and there's no guarantee that they'll work out. If we sign that player and the player turns out to be great, sweet. If we don't, we've dropped a clanger. It's a 50-50 gamble. Would I like to have seen us do more business in the summer? 100%. But if Vieira does have an issue with it, you can't blame him. The tools he has to work with aren't good enough. And this has been an issue that was here before Roy Hodgson was here, because Frank de Boer completely destroyed the morale of the squad. Playing Luca at right back in pre-season, I went, is he okay? And the scars from the De Boer era haven't settled. And you mentioned Riedewald. there's so many players here that should have been moved on time ago, but we're too loyal to these players. And yeah, it's a lovely trait that we're a very close-knit club. We love we're a very tight fan base and everything. But there's time to not be loyal and be ruthless and say, do you know what, Joel Ward, cheers for the memories. Cheers for the clearance off the line at Wembley. But we need to go in a different direction. You can't offer us what we're looking to progress towards, But we're not operating like that. And that's what I think has got up a lot of people's backs is it's quite clear that Ward and Klein are nowhere near what we need going forward. But look, if life was easy, you wouldn't support Crystal Palace. So that's the only way I could put it. But look, I'm going to jump off because I know you guys have got other people waiting. But look, thanks for having me on, lads. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on, Nate.
Take care.
Thank you. Take care. That was Nate having his say. Any other things that you want to say, Patrick?
Yeah, I want to go to a couple of issues about people talking about Vieira, being frustrated, which I totally get. But for me, I don't see any reason. I don't remember the last manager left a mid-table team in the Premier League just walked away. I mean, even out of frustration, it happened a lot, obviously, with teams in relegation that are close to it. But I don't see him leaving unless, because when he came here, D, he had to have known this is a rebuild. He hasn't been here. He hasn't even been here 2 years yet. So is he frustrated? I hope so. I hope he is. Is he going to Paris and saying, I want players? I hope so. But I'm sure he knows the situation that he's in right now. And for him to walk away, to me, doesn't make it. People keep talking about it. I see something in the chat, whatever. I don't understand that part. But again, the squad needs fixing, but it's not going to happen in this window for sure. But hopefully it happens in the next one, because as someone said, Zach says here, players contract expiring in this year. Zaha, to me, gone. Luka, gone. Butland, who knows what happened at United, gone. Ayew, we don't know about that new contract, hasn't been officially, but we think he's signed an extension. Klimasoki, gone. Ward, testimonial, gone. Maka, hasn't played, gone. Tompkins, gone. Ferguson, injured, probably gone. Manny Matthews, who's up in Scotland, gone. That's a lot of players. That's a lot of players to replace. And like we did the first time, it won't be 8 out, 8 in. It will be 8 out, 4 in, or 8 out, 5 in. You know what I mean? So, this is a rebuild, and people have to get their head around. This is still a rebuild. I know we're frustrated. Totally get it. This is still a rebuild. We are still in the second year of a rebuild. People think, you can get upset all you want and talk about relegation all you want, and I understand or not get mad, but this is still a rebuild, which we've got to hang in there and deal with it. This is what this is.
Yeah. I think I think he'll go with the loan moves in this window, which look, after today, I think our season's over. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. It's just maintaining where we are now. It's going to be
mediocre. One win, 2 losses. 1 win, 2 losses. We're just going to be stuck probably where we are. Maybe drop a bit more down. Maybe 13th, 14th, potentially, with other teams improving. I don't think we'll get relegated. But look, there's going to be hiccups along the process. But the most important thing is, if we're talking about this process and progressing as a football club, you have to spend money. You just have to. That's part of it. Not just spend money for the sake of it, but spend money in the right areas. We have spent money in the right areas, but last window we simply didn't spend enough, didn't bring enough players. Now in January, my sense is that we're not going to spend enough once again. So that's going to be 2 windows in a row. So summer, it's going to be massive. It's going to be absolutely massive.
It's big.
But then I feel like we hurt ourselves, because if you want players that will to stay at the club, you have to show a bit more ambition, and I don't think we've shown it this season at all. So, I think
the one player we're going to lose, and we all know it's going to be Zaha. The one player we want to stay, who's not going to think, because no one else is going to leave. At least he's not leaving. Eze's not leaving. Unless they get a ridiculous offer from someone, they're not leaving. Gahey possibly. There's a kind of release clause with that Chelsea thing. Anderson's not going anywhere, so we might lose, but we're definitely going to lose Zaha, because at this point now,
and if Wilf was to leave, like people saying he's going to leave for free, that's not going to help us. But he's the highest earner at the club, and that you could potentially fit 2 very good players for that money, or 3 with that money, and plus then you got the likes of others as well. Ayew, I think he's staying. I think he's signing a new contract. So
let's hope that's not true.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is true.
We can move on from him.
Wilf leaving, there's pros and negatives. So that's going to open up a lot of wages, but then it's about bringing in a replacement as well. It's a massive miss. So it's not just about Wilf leaving. Oh, it's great. We got more money. Yeah, you got more money because you got rid of a very good footballer. So how are you going to send? How are you going to replace him?
Right.
And exactly, I don't know with some of the names that's been mentioned, like Sarr. I don't like Sarr as Wilf's replacement. I get he's always going to be a struggle replacing Wilf, but some of the names that's been mentioned for Wilf's replacement, it does worry me a bit because they none of them excite me. None of them makes me think, yeah, that's a Wilf replacement. But look, we still got a player ratings to talk about as well, Patrick. Any other last thing that you want to say, or should we just wrap it up?
No, I mean, like I said before, I didn't necessarily want a cup run because I don't see what that really brings to us besides false hope. My hope again is let's just bring a couple of players in. It's on the players now, man. Look in the mirror. It's on the manager too. Look in the mirror, man. What can we do to turn the season around? I mean, I expect the next 5 games are going to be tough. I'm not being stupid. I'm not being naive, but I still think we'll stay up this year. And if it's 13th, 14th, and then we rebuild in the summer, that's fine. But it was disappointing, man. Disappointing is beyond belief. But again, wasn't anything I wasn't expecting. So let's just hope that we bounce back at some point in the next couple of games.
Yeah, hopefully we bounce back. But thank you to everyone who tuned in live. Thank you to everyone who's called in, left in your comments as well. Frustrating evening, but everyone, we try to bring on as many people to have their say. But if you guys want to have your say in future shows, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. Let's try to grow the channel as much as we can. I know it's frustrating, but let's try to keep it calm as well in the chat. I know some of you lot are getting a bit heated about it. But yeah, let's just try to be respectful with other people's opinions. But look, that's it from me and Patrick. Thank you to everyone who's watched the show. And until next time, which is going to be the player ratings, up the Palace.